Hey y'all, it's your girl Bree at Cryptic Tales of Tarot. Let me tell you, I am very, very sorry for being absent again for a few days. If you're new to my channel, welcome, but if not, thank you for coming back. It has been nothing but a clean-a-thon around here because this is a message for the whole collective, and I know that the opposition is listening too, but yeah, a total clean-a-thon with everything because the opposition has been sending a lot of bad, evil, and negative energy. So, and also, well, I hope you enjoyed my recording that I made like what 6, 7 days ago. And the reason why I posted it like 3 times was because it's like an experiment of when the most people are on YouTube watching shit, okay? It's trial and error, whatnot. But I also know that the Coven is also probably doing magic on that too to fuck with shit. But I'm back and I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I got messages to deliver. 144 on the timer. Y'all could be seeing that number. I am. Okay, and also before I forget, I think when it comes to the pictures that I post with my video, I think I'm just gonna start posting my profile picture so that y'all can recognize me better. Let's see here. What did I write? Because, finally, my belated birthday gifts finally came in that I want to use here. My birthday was last month, okay? And now it is April. I tried something different. Using Etsy versus Amazon, and I'll tell you, Etsy takes a while, but I'm not talking shit about Etsy. I'm not. They've got great products. It's just the shipping, handling, and delivery takes a lot longer than Amazon does. That's all I've got to say. Let's see here. Now, speaking of cleansing, you all need to do the same shit, and I mean every day. This is gonna be tiring, but it has to be done. Okay, if you're, whether or not you're a tarot reader like myself, or if you have any platform, regardless, if you're a part of the collective, cleanse your shit. Everything. I mean, all appliances, like electronics, cameras, even your clothes. I mean, when you do your laundry, it's okay to put some protective essential oils, a few drops into the washing machine, but not too much. Don't overload it, obviously. And then, put the detergent in there and let it go. So your clothes, are spiritually cleansed. Do the same thing with pillows and pillow sheets because uh y'all could be having nightmares, or some of the opposition could be sending you sexual dreams, okay? And no, we ain't putting up with that. We're not putting up with that because how do I say? You're so fucking close to the end of this goddamn shit that it's asinine, and that is why they are making shit so much more complicated than it has to be. Okay? Remember way back when the spiritual warfare started and you didn't know what the hell was going on? And you're like, why in the fuck is everything so difficult right now? And then when you realize what was going on, you're like, oh shit. And then obstacles after obstacles after obstacles, it just wouldn't stop. Your daily task would feel like climbing Mount Everest. Anyways, and hell, uh, wash your bed sheets, all of it, your space. This is gonna be a little bit long, okay? So just go grab a Coca Cola and chips or whatever. Damn it, man. Ugh. Oh, and for some reason, uh, I get this feeling that the opposition or the enemies, as I should say, they're trying to play a game of poker with you, because you know how in poker you gotta have that poker face on. You know, you can't show any emotions, and you gotta have your own strategies of how you psych people out. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think they're trying to play a game of poker with y'all, but with their rules. Of course, because they've never played fair this whole time. And during this game of poker, they're trying to confuse you in every way by sending all kinds of spiritual attacks, like I said, to make shit harder than what it's got to be. And they're also sending projections of paranoia and anxiety. And really and truly, that's how the opposition feels because they're in deep shit and they know it. 7:55 on the timer. They're in deep shit with the law. They're in deep shit with karma. They know it. But they're trying to focus on fucking around with your psyche, like I said, paranoia, anxiety, whatever they can, to the point where you just want to throw in the towel. So they think that they won, but no, because this war was over a long time ago. Whether the enemies want to realize that or not, or come to terms with that or not, this war has been over. Okay, and so, man, the only reason why these people keep going is because they just can't understand why no death spell has worked on you and how you're still alive. And there were plenty of times where you could have felt like you were being experimented on. Okay, like in the spirit, spiritually, you could have felt like you were being experimented on because they were trying to find, what's so unique about you. Why can't they take you out? Nothing's fucking working. That's because you're a part of the collective and you are divinely protected and you have a reason to be here. So, and another way too, the divine and the archangels have let this go on because it's a matter of not only is it observing their actions because they have been given so many fucking chances to stop because enough is fucking enough, but clearly they're not seeing the signs that are telling them to stop, or if they are seeing the signs, they're ignoring them. They're just wiping it all with their ass. Okay? And that's helping the divine archangels to judge what their whole karmic debt is going to be for the rest of their life and what their next lifetime is going to be like. I mean, listen, yes, when we come here, we choose the life that we have. In this case, they're going to get to choose what life they have in the next lifetime, but it's also going to be a one hell of a fucking rough one. With poverty, stagnation, all of it, because they're going to have to pay off the karmic debt from this lifetime. Have fun, folks. But don't worry, you're always divinely protected. Anyways, please pay attention to all synchronicities that you're seeing, especially when it comes to the number 8. I know that I've been seeing 88, 888, 818, and 808 a lot. And other numbers could be 111, 1111, which I'll never forget. There's another tarot reader out there who, she's funny. Her name is Spiritual Infusion. All of us tarot readers, we're all part of a group and shit. We don't hate each other. We don't put each other down. We learn from each other different techniques. But anyways, this chick on her channel, her name is Spiritual Infusion, and I like her quote with 1111, the gateway to heaven. 1111 has a lot to do with twin flames as well. Let's see. 1144, 1010, 1234, 144, 333, 311, 444, 411, 555, which talks about total change. And this is change that you can't stop. It is not in your control. 777 and 911. And your divine masculine's or your divine feminine's birthday number. And pay attention to the animals and insects that you're seeing. Me personally, I've been seeing a lot of bees and butterflies and birds. Big time. In fact, the birds that I've been seeing are blue jays, which those are a sign of your passed on loved ones saying hello, they love you, they're here for you. And if you guys see a cardinal, that's really good luck. Like, that's a rarity. That's just, don't take that for granted if you see a cardinal. And then, unfortunately, like last week, I saw a crow. And then I heard several crows cawing. And I was like, god damn it. Because to me, excuse me for saying god damn it. To me, like I've always said, whenever I hear crows cawing, it means black magic is in the air. Once again, what the hell else is new? Well, see, with that being said, you could be experiencing the following. Within the last 2 weeks, Okay, you could have been much more hectic, and excuse me, the last 2 weeks could have been much more hectic and chaotic and full of hardships. And that's because karmic feminine and karmic masculine were doing spell work. Like I've said plenty of times before, they just love to make shit harder on you than it needs to be. Um, the second thing, people getting into fights easily. I'm talking like people being okay for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden, kabam! It's like an all-out fight, whether it's physical fight, verbal, and biting words. It's like, oh my god, where in the hell did this come from? I thought everybody was cool and shit, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, like one snap, someone could say something wrong or do something wrong on accident, and it's an all out explosion like World War III. Well, that's because the opposition is sending spiritual warfare to your house. Okay, and not to mention the planet Mars, and Mars rules Aries, is working with the sun, which is causing some intense ass energy. And on top of that, to make shit worse, most people are feeling very emotional right now and, nostalgic. But there's nothing wrong with feeling emotional and nostalgic. And if you feel like crying, fucking cry, because your body is purging all kinds of negative shit that you've been holding in for far too long. Well, Neptune, which rules Pisces, it's located next to Mars right now. So this is why you could be feeling like something is off. I'll be honest with you, I can't wait for this month to be over. I'm not gonna lie. If you thought March was difficult, I think this month has been even worse. But remember, like I've said many times, the summer is gonna be very nice. Things will have chilled out big time. And that's when I see a lot of abundance coming your way, inheritance, reunions, engagements, okay? Think of this month as like the last fucking test. And the opposition has been screwing around with your intuition by trying to block the messages your angels and spirit guides are sending you. Well, because of that, the enemies are going to get their asses kicked by having major tower moments of all sorts, back to back to back. And that's their punishment for fucking around with all the tarot readers and empaths, and we have um light workers, all kinds of crap. Because they've been fucking with our spiritual talents, which we need to do our job. And that job is to inform the public and the authorities about this coven and the heinous crimes that they've done. And also, it's been helping the authorities, especially, the feds, FBI, all that, and solving murders that happened years ago. Like, these murders couldn't be solved years ago, so they went cold case files. Well, now the cases are being reopened, and they're finding those people that went missing and how they were murdered. And be careful with who you talk to and what you say. Could be another setup to figure out what you're up to. What are your future plans in life? What's going on right now? Just shut the fuck up. Don't give any more information than necessary. Okay, and especially if this karmic masculine comes to your house, which I think that the divine has put a restriction on that from happening, because this karmic is just dangerous. Narcissistic, a sociopath, psychopath. Like I said, like a fucking Ted Bundy. Uh, if they were to come to your place, don't answer the fucking door. Like I've said before plenty of times, don't answer the fucking door, because the minute you do, they could actually kind of stick their foot a little bit into your doorway, the crack of the doorway. So if you try to shut the door, it's going to be really hard to do that, because you're going to have to push out their foot while you're pushing the door closed and locked. Fuck that. Just, if that were to happen, call the cops. Find something to defend yourself. Hide somewhere in your house and call the cops. And make sure to tell them that there is physical abuse and that it's violent and the police are going to come faster. Okay? And while that shit is all happening, let the karmic masculine have his childlike temper tantrum, because you wouldn't give him a chance to speak to you and try to woo you and give you a whole line of crack of bullshit. And you know that this person has an STD that can't be cured. So if any of you guys have ever questioned what path to take, you've got your answer. You're not going to choose the one with the STD, because your divine masculine is clean. The divine masculine doesn't have multiple sexual partners the way the karmic masculine has. I mean, the karmic masculine is a prostitute. It has been a prostitute for a while, still is, and his karmic wife or girlfriend, she's got multiple partners too. Has an STD too. And you know what? Let's face it. This whole time, throughout this spiritual warfare in your journey, you knew that ever since the breakup happened, that this situation, this was unfinished business, and that you always knew that it was your divine masculine, and because you always felt something off with the karmic, and you were right. Karmic masculine has a long criminal history. Okay, and if they've got kids, they're already teaching their kids how to do black magic. Okay? And I don't think the karmic masculine has many followers anymore because nobody believes his bullshit. Because for all the tarot readers on here, they have said shit and predicted shit that's all come true, or damn near was Johnny on the spot. And it's like, how the hell would that person know that information? If they don't have, if they're not working with some informant or the cops, whatever, how the fuck do they know this shit? Because we're not up here to lie. We're here to tell the truth because that's what our job is. To tell the truth and to share our own personal stories of what's happened to us. But also, the reason why nobody believes the bullshit anymore either is because they really want to kick his ass because people have gone to jail. He's gotten people into trouble with the law. And the coven has been sending monitoring spirits your way. And you could have people trying to get into your energy by cloaking themselves so that you don't know who they are, but you're well aware of who they are because you've sensed their energy before and you already know the feeling because they've done the same shit for like 10 to 12 years, man. Some of you guys, 14 years. And these people are full of energy vampires, psychic vampires, and spiritual vampires, that are trying to send you spiritual attacks. These spiritual attacks are to every chakra. Okay? I mean, psychic attacks to make you very confused or to make you feel like you're losing your memory, wanting to fuck around with your third eye so they can try to block any intuitive messages and downloads from the divine and the archangels and your spirit guides, the throat chakra, your heart. They want you, they're amazed by how you don't have a closed up heart and that you're not bitter and nasty from all this shit you've been through. It's just a matter of you forgive everybody because who are you to judge them? Let the divine and the archangels judge them. And whatever their excuse is, let it go. Who cares? Forgive them from a distance, but the relationship with them, it's gone because they're not supposed to come into your new chapter of life, which is full of abundance, beautiful shit, good money, all kinds of luxuries, but it's happiness. You finally get happiness again, unconditional love again. Everything that they took away from you, it's coming back. Oh, yeah. Let's see. There could be an older lady And I see her, like, she got some red hair, I think. Red curly hair, I think. But she works with this coven and she works at a hospital. And she's in charge of giving the patients their medication and serving them their meals throughout the day. Well, whoever this lady is, I think she's been trying to get the patients to die quicker by screwing with their medication in terms of the dosages that she's giving them. Either she's giving them too much or not enough. Okay? And then she could be poisoning their food too. I'm seeing rat poison. So, I mean, it's a double fuck over here. Fucking with their meds and then serving their meals by putting little bits of rat poison liquid. Like, I don't know. I mean, rat poison comes in pellets in all kinds of different ways, but she's poisoning their food regardless. Because the point is to get these people to die much faster than they should. That is sick. That's disgusting. And on top of that, when they're sleeping, or in the middle of the night, she steals their possessions that can be pawned. And based on my downloads, I think she's working with a crooked lawyer who has connections to these patients' living wills. And this lawyer is helping her change the details of what these wills say. I don't know exactly how all of this shit is working out, but like I said, this coven also works as the mafia. They work with people in the mafia and other secret societies. I don't want any fucking trouble, people, but I'm just saying what my downloads are. So she's getting help with changing some of the details of what the documents say, especially when it comes to the money, because she wants a part of it. And of course, this is all happening while the patients are dying. But once she's gotten what she wants and the patient is officially dead, then that's when she informs the family that their loved one has officially passed away. But here's the thing, before the person is buried or cremated, this has been happening for a few months, or maybe the last year now, where some family members have noticed that there's been changes to these wills and they're going to attorneys to figure out what the hell's going on and why it's changed. And the crazy shit is, somehow, these families are going to the same attorney that this lady goes to. Some way, somehow, I think these families are being referred to that attorney because they have investigated this lady and I think she has, oh, go to this lawyer. They're really good, but in reality, these lawyers are fucking the families over. Ain't that some shit? And but here's the thing, these families that have been turned down by the attorney, they're taking shit further, and they're like, nah, there's something funky going on here, and they're taking it up with the hospital where this lady works at, and they want the cops to get involved to investigate her, her medical certificates, her history of where she's worked at different hospitals, you know, what medications she knows about, the dosages, their side effects, yada yada yada. And there very well could be at some point a lawsuit against the hospital. Like if they don't fire this lady, or if they haven't fired her by now, I see some kind of a lawsuit that several families are going to join in to push even harder. 36:56 on the timer when I said that. And if you feel like you're being watched, it's because you are. All karmics want to fight the divine feminine because they're pissed that they have to give her her inheritance back. But more importantly, it's to get a reaction out of her. Because if they get her to lose her shit, let me tell you what, guys, they're gonna record everything. If you lose your shit, okay, you have to ground yourself, learn to stay calm, cool, and collected. Don't entertain the bullshit. Walk the other way. And of course, they're probably gonna follow you, just like bullies do. Because they're gonna be testing your buttons. Because they want you to argue with them and physically fight them. And they're going to have a recorder to record the fights, and they're going to be recording the verbal arguments, all that shit. And that's the evidence that they need to finally go to the cops with to try to get the restraining order against you that they've been trying to do for forever and a day. And that's to prove that you're a crazy bitch. Okay? And if they do get the restraining order, they're going to take advantage of it by intentionally crossing paths with you because they already have a GPS system that's connected to your GPS system. So they know where you're at all times. So wherever you go, they know where you're at. And they're going to come in, possibly act all surprised that you're there, and they're going to throw a fit, cause a whole scene, and, demand that the manager calls the cops because they have a restraining order against you. And so you get arrested, you get kicked out, all of that shit. And they're going to keep doing that constantly to the point where it's like you have nowhere to go to have any fun. But at the same time, how can you have any fun if they've put isolation spells on you? I mean, what? Make it make sense. It's retarded. Or excuse me, don't want to be politically incorrect. It's mentally handicapped. I don't know what you want me to tell you. And if you have a social media platform and the opposition is doing magic on that too, they don't want you to be seen in the public eye. They could have gone so far to the point where they want your divine masculine or divine feminine to have a hard time finding your platform so that they can't watch your videos. These people have done so much, I mean, above and beyond. The next thing, the divine masculine may seem happy on social media or when he's around other people, but he's just putting up a facade because in reality, he's miserable without his counterpart. And when the divine masculine is depressed, he doesn't like to talk about the problem until he's ready to, which this can take a millennium to do. And so he focuses on work and crafty projects or hangs out with friends to keep him distracted. But you see, these friends, he's not gonna go into depth at all with these people about what's going on with his personal life because these are more like surface level friends and, deep friends that he's known. Okay. But eventually, this masculine needs to come to the fact that, come to terms with the fact that this type of coping mechanism of ignoring their problems and just focusing on other shit, it's not okay. Because this was the same shit, the same coping mechanism that they were doing when they had a hard time expressing themselves with the feminine. Because this person just has a blocked throat chakra. Like pulling tooth and nails with this person to get info out of them. But you see, this personal info is nobody else's business except for the feminine and maybe like two close personal friends. And that's it. Nobody else. So, I mean, stay in your fucking lane, people. And here's the thing. The more he stays quiet and just, uses his traditional coping mechanisms, it's not serving him well. Because this is giving the opposition more of an opportunity to fuck with him with mental mind illusion magic. Because the more he's distracted, then the less he's gonna think about the feminine. But at this point in time, he knows that there's been a lot of magic done on him and the feminine. And that, I mean, he knows he's been betrayed like no other. It's sad to say, but he betrayed the feminine and then his friends betrayed him. But anyways, um by not coming forward to the feminine and expressing shit, the longer he waits, they're gonna fuck with him with the mental mind magic and to make him think that, oh, he should stay with the situationship he's got with the karmic feminine, his karmic feminine, or, is he talking to another woman? If so, who's that other woman? They're being, just busybodies. And it's obviously to keep stalling the reunion with the divine feminine, and they've they've thought about bringing in some other person to the feminine just to distract her temporarily, because and then that person leaves her because it's a fucked up joke, and it's a fucked up joke thinking that she's ever gonna have love again, because with the spells that they were doing and have been doing with the isolation spells, she is never supposed to be happy again in any type of way. But even if they did send her somebody else, she wouldn't want to be with somebody else, because in her heart of hearts, she knows that this divine masculine is her true love. It's unconditional love. And to let the masculine know, you still have several hidden enemies around you, okay? And one of them, I think, is the lady who's been involved with killing people to, take their money and fuck them over. Think about shit. Think about shit. There are several hidden enemies that are still around you that, you know, they gotta go. I'm not telling y'all what to do, but if you want to get back to your reunion that you want and go home like you want, then this is the only way. I mean, some people are only meant to be in your life for a season so you can learn lessons, and then they gotta go. There will be divine intervention. 48:28 on the timer as I said that. Yeah, these snakes are busybodies, man. And because of that, yeah, divine intervention. And the divine masculine is finally going to listen to his intuition to make the right choice, which is the divine feminine. For the longest time, he's known it's the divine feminine. But as I've mentioned many times before, he let his friends talk shit to him and blah 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 in his ear and didn't think for himself. So, but the masculine isn't stupid and knows about situation in terms of not everybody being honest with him or having good intentions for him. And you know what? Be careful what the fuck you drink or eat around anybody, because they could be poisoning your shit. Let's see here. And I mean, because of all of this, the masculine, he's probably building up the walls around him even stronger. And that's for protection. And it's like the only people that can break down that wall of protection is the feminine and like two other best friends. That's it. And when it comes to the divine feminine, she's been minding her own business. If anything, given the past 10 years and the shit that I've been put through, I barely talk to anyone because been in isolation. Uh I talk to maybe, I don't know, like 3 people. That's it. And but with these isolation spells, it's made me learn to observe people. Whenever I've got to go out somewhere in public, I observe people and the way they say things, what they say, how they say it, their mannerisms, their facial expressions. Basically, do they have any ulterior motives? And when you have to constantly pay attention to people like that and question shit like that, it gets exhausting. Because I'm the type of person where I ain't got shit to hide. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I have no hidden motives for anybody. I don't calculate and see how I can manipulate people into doing, dirty deeds for me that I don't want to do for myself. So if anybody gets into trouble, it ain't me, it's the other person. No, fuck that shit. No, 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 no. this this karmic has a lot of mental issues, and 5225, right when I said that. This person needs to be analyzed heavily in prison, because they're going to prison or they're going to check out before that, or they're going to check out in prison. So, basically, everything I just said, I'm using my discernment, but I don't think a person should have to go that far into using their discernment like that. I mean, holy shit. We're not on the show, Forensic Files here. But that's the way the karmic thinks. And us in the collective, unfortunately, we've had to think along the lines of how this motherfucker thinks. So we can constantly stay ahead to plan ahead the next move, that they're gonna do. But granted, I know that not everybody is a backstabbing asshole. I'm more aware of my surroundings, we'll just say that. So at this point in my life, I'm choosing my friends wisely. I will be choosing my soul family wisely. People that are on the same level and don't have any intentions of hurting or killing or sacrificing or being into evil shit. Okay? Now, another note. Based on the divine masculine's poor decisions when it comes to taking bribes, listening to others and their opinions, and leaving the divine feminine for their karmic feminine, which is a girl that they dated many years ago, and she's highly jealous of the feminine. Okay, well, because of all that shit, the divine archangels have put him in a timeout for a while so that he can reflect on what he did. And trust me, he's been learning his lesson. I say this because I think the divine masculine is going through several phases of a spiritual awakening all at once. He's been spending a lot of time thinking about his life and what he wants to do in the future, and then reminiscing on good memories with the divine feminine, and wants to make new memories with her in the future. And guess what? The divine feminine wants to make new memories with the masculine as well. I also think that he's been doing his shadow work and healing old childhood wounds, which I think are abandonment issues and past betrayal. But, and that's why he doesn't like to talk about his personal life with others. So it takes a long time for someone to break him down. But, at this point, he knows he's got to be vulnerable and express himself to the divine feminine. And when it comes to abandonment issues, at least he's trying to work on them instead of going batshit crazy like the karmic masculine has. And yes, the divine masculine was having a secret situationship with that ex-girlfriend who's actually his karmic and he knows it. Okay. He knows that he's got to get her the fuck out of his life. Snip, snip, cord cutting rituals, banishing rituals, doing something. Because she's doing everything in her power to keep him around and trying to convince him that the feminine isn't really the one for him, one he knows better. I think she even took the situation so far to the point that she lied about being pregnant or threatened to kill herself if he didn't stick around. But the masculine could see right through the bullshit and her drama, because that's all she is fucking drama and chaos. And just keeps coming up with more lies and excuses about how he needs to scratch out the feminine from his mind. She and this karmic feminine has even said things about hurting or killing the feminine so that the problem will be solved permanently. If she hurts and kills the divine feminine, then the problem will be solved permanently because he ain't gonna have any other choice but to stick with the karmic feminine. That's how she's thinking in her mind. And she's done constant love spells on him and tried to convince him that they're twin flames when they're not. And finally, I think that at one point, the karmic feminine was trying to get him arrested by claiming that he physically abused her or that he raped her. And I think that in her mind, this was her way of punishing him if he didn't stick around. And like I've said before plenty of times, I think she's a Jezebel spirit. I feel sorry for all the people born in April because this month has been so far like boom, 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 being tossed around all over, but just breathe. It's gonna be okay. Stay calm, cool, and collected. Use your brains wisely. Watch what you say. Watch who you talk to. Remember, Not everybody's your friend. And I'm going to say it again for the karmic masculine, you still have hidden enemies around you. hmm You need to pay extra attention to people and observe their body language, what they're saying, what they're doing, seeing if you can catch them in any lies. Like, shit. What you could do is make up a stupid lie yourself and tell somebody. And let's see what that person says or does with that lie. Do they tell it to everybody else? Do they tell that lie in the same way that you told them? Or are they twisting it around to make it sound better for their favor? You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of shit you gotta think about. But anyways, I love y'all. Take care. I wanna use my old really belated goodies for this. Adios. Have a good day.